I miss you. Hi, yes, before you ask, I have been away for a long time yet again, but this time I have been ill. It's been fantastic. Life has been great. I mean, everything has just been perfect. Believe me. Believe me. Okay, so you're saying like, how does it take you an entire week to talk about Doctor Who? As if you're the only person on the internet talking about Doctor Who. As if you're actually a person of interest talking about the new Doctor Who. I mean, several millions of other people do that, but there must be some reason why you in particular might be subscribed to this channel. I don't know. Yeah, that's the illness bit. No, time of year, lots of phlegm, things like that. So, Doctor Who is finally back with Series 11 or Season 11, depending on how you want to talk about it. And it's with Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall and Bradley Walsh and a lot of other people I don't know. And here is the thing. That was pretty good, wasn't it? I really loved it. I loved it so much. Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who is, at least what I can say about the first episode, it feels a lot more Russell T Davies rather than Stephen Moffat. And I'm not slamming Stephen Moffat here. I am just saying that in order for the show to feel fresh again, to feel new again, it needed to be something else than Stephen Moffat. And it is. I like the fact that the episode started off rather a bit slow and we got to know all the people involved. We got to, you know, I'm not very good with names. I mean, I don't even know Bradley Walsh's character's name. I know Jazz, because Jazz is friends with the Doctor. You got Ryan and you got his nan Grace, and then you see I know all three of them except Bradley Walsh's character. Great. So I like the fact that they took some time setting these people up, and they showed like a sliver of a connection, like Bradley's Ryan's granddad by marriage, not biological. He used to be classmates with Jasmine, who he has been, well, you know, people don't keep in touch from school all the time. I mean, one of my best friends is, you know, somebody I knew from elementary, but that aside. So when they get on board the TARDIS, them acting like siblings or, you know, like really people that know each other on a personal level actually makes more sense, because when Doctor Who did this in the past, and I do mean like in the past, not like anything post 2005, you'd have like aliens from different worlds, people from Victorian age, and you know, the Doctor, and they would all be like 3 or 4 of them acting like they were brothers and sisters. And I get that they travelled together for a long time and they become close friends, companions one might say, but it still would feel weird to see somebody introduced in one episode and then the next episode be like, "You're always like this, Tegan." "Oh no, don't you stop. Oi, I'm from Australia." Things like that.
I demand to see who's ever in charge of this ship.
So that's like what I said. We get a little bit of build up before we get to the Doctor. And that's the only thing that kind of bothers me about the episode, is that twice upon a time it ended with the Doctor falling from the TARDIS from what seemed to be, at least, high orbit. So Matt Smith had to get into like this impact suit so he wouldn't die. But maybe it's because the Doctor was still in their, you know, 15 hours of regeneration, so she was made of iron.
Because quite by chance, I'm still within the first 15 hours of my regeneration cycle, which means I've got just enough residual cellular energy to do this.
Apparently, you know, pure adamantium. So she just bashes into the train. And the moment the BBC gave us that footage of her introducing herself to Ryan and Jazz, I already liked Jodie Whittaker quite a lot. She seems to be a step back, or, you know, harkening back to the more energetic Matt Smith, David Tennant types, which again, after 3-4 years of Peter Capaldi being all brooding and mysterious, it's not bad. I hope they do a little bit different, but at least she feels energetic, and it's a good way to start the show new. So the plot, it's very basic, it's very easy, and that's quite okay, because the first Doctor's episode should always be about, you know, them being introduced to us, and not necessarily about how intricate can we make this plot, because David Tennant's had just a generic invasion and he was passed out for like 50 minutes of the 1 hour runtime. Christopher Eccleston's, even his was a bit more fleshed out, but again, it was just an auto-on invasion, and Matt Smith's was probably the most complicated, but that's Stephen Moffat. And Peter Capaldi's was, again, it was just, you know, some murders in Victorian London. So now we just have the Predator, except the Predator is also an ice-based alien. And Tim Shaw, that's a great gag, by the way, he serves a very, you know, decent function. But what I liked is that normally you get like the alien stereotypes. They feel like, oh, we are an alien of mercenaries, and obviously they'd be mercenaries. Or you have an alien of like barbarians, and they'd be like warriors. Or you have an alien about subterfuge, and they'd be like all sneaky and conniving. Except in this case, Shimshar, he kind of gave us a glimpse of what his culture is like, but it didn't feel like that was his entire thing. It wasn't his hat. I have a hat here somewhere. I have several hats. It didn't seem like the Chensha, I think. I forgot the name. I'm not very good with names. It seemed like the Chensha were, you know, at least the ritual to become leader was about hunting, like the Predator. But the rest, we don't know the rest. About Chimshar himself, it probably works better for smaller children, because while the concept of pulling teeth out and adorning your own face with them is bloody horrifying, I was more scared by his own teeth than by the teeth on his face, which is weird, because his own teeth were all metallic and grimy, and the teeth on his face just seemed like white acne of sorts. But, you know, it was alright. It wasn't that bad. And the data coil alien. So yeah, we all got like, that's about it. I like that the stakes were small. It was just about the life of one person, maybe two if you want to take the one killed in the reference 7 years ago, the sister of the one guy, and well, 2 other people died as well. But you know what it's like. And the fact that it was all gone in one night, that felt very peculiar as well, because I don't think Doctor Who has done a story set during the night time 99% outside before. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, they might have done somewhere in Classic Who, but I doubt it. Every time there's been something during the night, they've mostly been inside, like a lighthouse or, you know, an American diner, something like that. And yeah, that's basically all I can say about the plot itself. I like the fact that the cast of companions is a little bit more diverse. I mean, I'm not repping the diversity, but if there were like 2 white girls and a white boy without any other characteristics, it would feel a bit samey, perhaps. Here we have an old bloke, which hasn't been done since Wilfred Moff, but he's been, you know, it was only for the end of time, and Ryan and Jazz, they seem to know each other well enough, and then Ryan has what was it, Proxima? I'll put in a little annotation here so you can look that up. Like a muscle issue, I think he had, or a orientation issue. It's just something you don't see every day, and it's, you know, giving him that as a part of his character, not as a soul-defining trait. It gives us some potential for stories, and it's something that hasn't been done before, treading new ground. And I'm a big fan of treading new ground. I mean, you can only do that. This companion is the most important companion in the Doctor's life of all time, so many times before it gets a bit old hat. I mean, Rose, Martha, Donna, Amy and Clara, all of them have had that role, despite the fact that, technically speaking, all of them had been ordinary people that the Doctor picked up, and by meeting him, they were kind of predestined to become super important. I hope they don't do that this series. That's fine. Now, my only bigger problem with the companions is that by this episode focusing on 4 and all the promotional material, you already kind of know what was going to happen, right? So it's a bit sad that happens, but I like the fact they took some, you know, Russell T Davies style, again, time after the main villain plot had wrapped up, to spend some time on the aftermath, because Stephen Moffat didn't like the aftermath quite very much, at least in my opinion. It was always very, very much about whizzing and banging and moving on to the next one. And while he did have focus on family a little bit, it was never emphasized as much. Yeah, that's about everything I can say. I'm really looking forward to the rest of this series. I like the cliffhanger. I hope that's going to be a recurring thing, that the last bit of the episode leads into the first bit of the next one. A bit like Tom Baker's first series, where everything was just like one big adventure. I know it gives you very little space for the expanded universe, but you know what, every now and then sort the expanding universe. I really don't know what else I want to say, like what I would like to see and what I expect us to see. Like I said before, we're going to be treading a lot of new ground. I expect them to keep things fresh, keep it a bit more different than it has been, at least for the last, you know, half a decade, or, you know, decade. Wow, has it really been that long? If it doesn't feel that long, does it? Are we all getting old because time progresses in a linear fashion and doesn't consider us of importance whatsoever? Time is an illusion anyway. So yeah, please let me know what you think about The Woman That Fell to Earth anywhere on the internet. I've got lots of social medias you can bugger me on. There's this comment system YouTube provides. You can insult me down there. I know my camera's been going in and out of focus for the last minute and a half, and I've got gnats flying about. I'm going absolutely mental. So please just insult me, because, you know, reverse psychology works the best. I really would like to be a glutton for punishment. Please, please. You can hit the subscribe button, you can smash that bell, but I hate those terms, so don't bother to do either of those. And now that my voice is back again, I seem to be losing my voice quite a bit, because I seem to remember, like last year, I had the same issues. I hope that I can start working new video production around my new job, because I've got a new job, because who needs stable income from a single employer nowadays? Because that's not what we do anymore. We're millennials, damn it. We're bound to something, I don't know. Eat the rich, subscribe.